Hello everyone, I'm Amelia. Today we are talking about flying changes. I'm going to explain to you exactly the aids and the preparation that you need to get a good flying change. This is Natasha. She is the master of the flying changes. She's a Grand Prix horse and her flying changes are amazing. I just did a freestyle with her where we did 2 tempies on a half circle into 1 tempies on a line. The thing that's important to remember is that it takes a long time to train your horse to do the flying changes correctly. And probably a horse like Natasha has done like thousands and thousands of flying changes in her life. It's a lot to coordinate because your horse basically has to go from one lead and then change all of their legs midair, organize that, and do it when you ask to get onto the other lead. So the biggest thing that is important when you are getting ready to do a flying change or when you're teaching your horse a flying change is the quality of your canter and the quality of your canter walk-canter transitions. So if I'm going to get ready for a flying change, the first thing that I do is I practice my canter walk-canter transitions. So you want your canter walk-canter transitions. Basically what you're looking for in your walk to canter transition is that you want your horse to be really active and through with the hind leg the first stride from a light aid. So I'm going to whisper canter. She's got to jump. You see how that first canter stride, it could even be a little more, but the first canter stride has to be super jumpy with the hind leg and round in the neck. So active and through. Good girl. And then for the canter quality itself, you have to have a clear rhythm and you have to have volume in the canter stride. So it's got to be jumping, 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 jumping. The more jump that you have in your canter, the more likely you're going to be to have a good flying change because your horse has to do the flying change when all 4 feet are off the ground. So before I do my flying changes, I do a lot of canter walk-canter transitions and a lot of simple changes. The other thing that's really important is that whenever you're in the canter, your legs have to be in canter position. So when I'm in left lead canter, my right leg is always slightly behind the girth. So as I go past the camera here, you can see my right leg is slightly behind the girth, telling my horse for the left lead canter. Okay, so I'm gonna get ready to do some changes. And I feel like my canter walk-canters were good and my canter quality is good. I'm gonna turn on the half diagonal from H to B. My right leg is back. I make her supple on the right. I bring my right leg forward. She does a change. So I'll show you again from right to left on the half diagonal. I'm going to go from E to M. I'm going to make her straight and a little supple to the left. Half halt, and change. Good girl. Good. Good girl. So a couple of things that are super important for your flying changes. One is that, like, let's say I'm in left lead canter, right? And I'm going to turn across and go to B. So I've just made the turn here, right? And she's in left bend. My right leg is a little back. I'm starting to get ready for a flying change to the right. Now, the first thing that I need to do is I'm going to keep my legs in this position until I want the change. But I need to make her supple to the right so that she can actually do the flying change before I ask for the change. So I'm in left lead canter. What I'm going to start doing is I'm going to start pressing a little with my right leg behind the girth and suppling a little the fingers on the right. So see how I have her in right bend now, but she's still in left lead canter. Then when I bring my right leg forward, that's when I would ask for the change. And you also, when you ask for the change, you want to give a little bit your inside rein. So I'm going to turn around and do that at the canter now. So I've got my inner leg at the girth, my outer leg behind the girth, left flexion. I make her straight. I supple her on the right. My right leg is back. Right leg forward, right rein give. So let me show you once from the other way. I'm going to talk you through it at the walk first. Good girl. So I remember like when I was first learning to do the flying changes and my instructor was trying to explain the flying changes to me, and I was so confused about like new inside leg, old inside leg, like the setup for it. It was super confusing. So I recommend, like, if you're confused about the flying changes, just practice a lot of simple changes where you go canter, walk, canter, walk. Okay, so I'm on right leg canter. I've just made a turn to the right. I'm going to start setting her up for a left flying change. So my left leg is behind the girth. She's bent to the right. Now the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to press with my left leg back here to move her body a little over to the right. So her body has to move this way so that she can open up and do that change to the left. Because if you don't move her over and she's leaning left, she's not going to be able to make a clean change to the left. So I'm going to push with my left leg and move her body over. It's kind of like, it's like a baby leg yield, but you don't really want to actually move sideways. You just want to kind of get your horse to lean over that way. I'm going to use my fingers on the left rein to get her flexing a little to the left. And then once she's set up, my left leg comes forward and I give the left rein. So it's really important that your legs changing is what makes the flying change happen. I'm going to go to the canter and show that to you in the canter. Okay, so right leg canter. Left leg is behind the girth. My horse is slightly flexed to the right. I'm turning. I'm going to push with my left leg and make her supple left. Left leg forward, left rein give. Good girl. So really the flying change is all about the setup. And basically, you're a good girl. The setup for the flying change is that you have to get your horse to like bend in their body the other way before you ask them for the change. So like if you're going in left leg canter and you can imagine that your horse is like a little bit shoulder fore left and kind of shaped like a banana to the left, you have to get your horse to be able to shape like a banana to the right in left leg canter before you ask for the change. So one thing that I do a lot of when I'm first teaching my horses is that I will do counter canter. So like I'll pick up the right leg canter here and I'll practice being able to bend my horse to the left in right leg canter. So you see how here she's bent left, but she's still in right leg canter. And this is different from the aid from the change. So a lot of people, when they change the bend, their horse is already doing the flying change. So what I want with my horses is that I want them to wait for my legs to change before they do the flying change. So I'm moving her into my right rein, halt, half halt, give the left change. Good girl. Good girl. Good girl. That's really the secret to getting the tempi changes, is that your horse has to listen to your leg position. Your leg position is what determines the lead and not the flexion. So you don't want to be like pulling your horses side to side for the flying change, it's really about your leg position, which determines the flying change and what lead they're on. So let me know if this was helpful. I'm thinking about making a course on flying changes. So let me know if that's something that you would be interested in, because flying changes are super hard to teach. It takes a long time and you need like a lot of different exercises to be able to play with to get them to happen. But this is just a start on that, and I hope that it helps you with your flying changes. So thanks for watching. Be sure to give me a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel. It really helps me out. And I hope that you enjoy your horse and have a wonderful day.